me. Maybe it's being a little bit older. But why is it that in this type of a situation, at least the police don't take the guy in to be sure that he's telling the right story? You know what I'm saying? You know, they have this representative from, the Brady gun control piece. He was like, wait a minute, if two people kind of get into a beef and nobody's around, there's no cell phones, no one called 911, right? You don't have access, to video cameras, and one person's dead, the other person's not. According to this law, then as the person, who's not dead, well, what happened? He threatened me. Reasonably so, he threatened me. And what has happened over with this bill, 65 people have died because of this. And because they're not tracking the records very well, you can't even tell who did what race they were, whatever. And we got to recognize is that there's something wrong with not taking the person, even after they admitted taking somebody's life, taking them in and asking them questions. That gets us to the other part of this bill. This bill says, I think I should probably read a little bit of this because this shocked me. Because of this bill, because somebody's life might be taken because of it, because you said it's in self-defense, you're being provided immunity from criminal prosecution. That means the police are just as much a victim as everybody else because according to the law, they can't even take him in unless they have something that compels them to do that. The law protects the individual who just finished taking the life of that child by saying, look, the police can't even arrest you. To me, something is wrong with that. So when we look at Trayvon, when we think about other children, other men, women who have ever been killed by this that we can't track because, no one's really keeping records, we got to recognize this thing is in 22 states of war right now. And as I understand it, it's snaking through Virginia. In other words, if they haven't done something on that now, this thing may be brought up as an option for us in the next General Assembly, the session. So we got to get into this. And this stuff was pushed by the National Rifle Association. They're the ones, and they did their homework. And you can't hate on them because all they did was what we need to do. I worked in the General Assembly a little bit. When these folks come up in there, they just don't say, we want you to do another law for us. They come and they done research the law. They done make copies of it. They done researched it. And when they come in there and talk to a member of the General Assembly or a senator or one of our legislators, these folks know just what line they want to put in which law. And then they hold people accountable for supporting them. That's what we need to be doing. So I'm glad that y'all out here, because this thing is serious. We don't know how many lives have already been lost across the 20-something states. And what happened in Florida, the two groups of people that tried to shut this thing down, they didn't have enough backup from the people. The police officers tried to shut it down. They said, you're going to get folks that kind of out. They all kind of crazy stuff going to happen. The prosecutors tried to shut it down, but they didn't have enough backup from the people. These other folks that supported the law has a backup. They had money, they voted, they was involved in the process, and they got through. So it's time to take our activism to another level. Take it to another level. Let Trayvon's death be a mark. Let him live through our renewed commitment. And if we do something, Trayvon lives. I called my congressperson, Trayvon lives. I asked these folks to come to my hood and tell me about this new law. Trayvon lives. Taking everything to another level. Thank you for my piece. I had to get that out, y'all. Bob Gibson, come on up. Do what you do.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome. This piece that I have that I'll be sharing with you all tonight is a persona piece. And I'll just get into it, all right? If everybody with me, say word. All right, all right, all right. Okay. A telegram to Zimmerman from Mother Earth. Son, if it were up to me, I wouldn't bend you over my knee. I'd express mail you an earthquake to crack open the doors beneath your feet and give you a tour of the hells the black community often turns. Rivers of blood boil, tears sting as well. Do the names Emmett Till, Oscar Grant, or Sean ring a bell? I'm curious, George. When Trayvon screamed, "Help! Help!" did the 9mm sway you to satisfy its sweet tooth? When your finger licked the trigger, did his flesh tear as easily as a bag of Skittles? When only the red ones poured out, could you taste the rainbow? Did the guilt ache like a cavity in your mouth? Could you taste his pain grow? When you shot Trayvon dead, did the criminal injustice on your tongue taste like 23 ounces of Arizona? Did your white half wrap barbed wire around your heart and detain your Hispanic half from crossing the border? Even if my hurricanes erased race from the picture, the squeak clean recordings don't lie. From the second you false started, after the dispatcher said stop following, you should have been disqualified. What's suspicious is how you got lucky kissing policemen as the officials let you slide. But no matter how many rainbows you chase down and harass, the leprechauns will turn their backs at the finish line. My seasons kept giving you the instructions, but you wore too many layers of pride to change. They gave you too many times to change the assault and battery in your neighborhood watch. Time is money. Time is money. Time is money, and $3 was enough to cost Trayvon his life. If that gated community was a mini-mart, you know you charged that boy the wrong price. But this ain't no race then. People gotta stay civil, right? Change the channel or play the game. Ask your father. This is more of an ESPN NBA thing. No longer can we defend your offense. You took a foul shot at Trayvon, that Miami Heat, and rolled the bench back to hide under your shell. Quote, these a-holes always get away. End quote, it's ironic you did. Stop talking about yourself. Son, you ought to be praying. You ought to be reading your King James. You ought to be Dwayne wading in the water. Because the rock can't hide you in its shade if the devil's got your name in his order. Son, you ought to be praying because Trayvon made it to heaven, met Nina Simone, rewrote her song and started singing together. Oh, Zimmerman, where you gonna run to? You always been mama's boy. So where will you run other than into your mother's arms? I pray for Tracy and Sabrina's eyes, overcast under dark umbrellas because you took away their sin. But the day will come when light tears open the clouds as easily as a bag of Skittles, and justice and righteousness roll down like a mighty stream of Arizona iced tea. Sincerely, a mother who gave you the ground to stand on and loves you enough to take it back. Thank you.
Well done. That was good and faithful one. Next speaker is Phil Wilato.
Hello, sorry to be corrected. I'm Jonathan Villatoro. I'm like Trayvon, I'm 17. I go to Huguenot High School, and I had to write something for this kid. It's just such an injustice what's happening. Without further ado, am I a threat? When you look at me, am I the plague you've come to expect? Am I so wrong for wanting to live in a better place? Or am I a criminal just because of my race? Because I look at the gilded land that everyone admires, but they don't know that to be free, there are a few things you require. Because brown skin and dark hair will get you nowhere, while blue eyes and light skin will get you a lot higher. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of living every 4 years holding on to the equality promises of a liar. The once in office won't think twice about holding your feet to the fire. I'm tired. Conservative Christians openly practicing racism under a church steeple when they bathe in the blood and sweat of my people. Because the buildings we make you inhabit, but trying to get you to see that it's like Alice chasing a white rabbit, only to end in a dark hole, filled with your twisted laws, your upside down world, where the rich play at the poor's expense. And it's okay to kill an unarmed black kid as long as you say it's self-defense. So now, another falls under the knife. Wearing a hoodie in the wrong neighborhood costs you his life. You clipped an angel's wings before he could take flight. Yeah, all cause neighborhood G.I. Joe couldn't cool it. Just had to pull it. What type of world is this with suspicion? It's grounds enough to make you worthy of a bullet. But there's just no respect for the one who fell. Had it been the other way around, he would have spent life in jail, not just a 5-minute scare behind a cell. So what will you do for your rights? They're in the shadows, so it's up to you to turn on the light and let them see for once in their life what it truly means to be free. To remind them of the injustice they bestow upon you and me, the prejudice we face in this country. To remember the strange black fruit that once grew on southern trees, and now the separation of families by men with no face, creating marks that can never be erased. All I'm saying is a 17-year-old boy's life is too much to pay for a mistake.
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
No racist, no peace.
For those of you who know, even for those of you who don't know, Mr. Rahman Shabazz.
Beautiful people. I'm always elated that says that African lives have no value. I want to share a piece with you, and in an attempt to not take up a whole lot of time, I'm just going to share a part of my written statement with you. And I just want you to take a moment and pay close attention to the longevity, the span, and the names. In 1918, Mary Turner and Hayes Turner. 1955, Emmett Till. 1963, Medgar Evers. 1969, Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. 1989, Yusuf Hawkins. 1996, Tyronn Lewis. 1998, James Byrd. 1999, Amadou Diallo. 2000, Patrick Dorismond. 2002, right here in Richmond, Virginia, Verlin Johnson. 2004, Timothy Stansbury. 2006, Sean Bell. 2008, Talik Terraferro. 2009, Oscar Grant. 2010, little 7-year-old Ayanna Jones. 2011, Troy Davis, Kenneth Chamberlain. 2012, Ramarley Graham, Trayvon Martin, Dane Scott Jr., and just 4 days ago, Rakia Boyd. Which one of your names will fill in the blank next? You see, this is the final war cry. Armageddon lies beneath this trumpet of voice. The choice is freedom or perish. We no longer cherish the iniquity in a system built on the premise of our attempted annihilation. You see, oppression is neither myth nor conspiracy's theory. Substance of toxicity used to nurse an unsuspecting people from self-determination to total dependency. Frederick Douglass said it clearly. Measure the exact amount of injustice a people are willing to accept, and you will have the exact amount of injustice they will receive. What sane or rational person would believe that prosperity would come from the hands of the one that stole it from you in the first place? What does it profit a man the promise of a false-faced heaven while his brethren suffer from the most vicious holocaust in human history? It's hard to feel God's mercy amidst acts of genocide. The bones lie, uncounted, uncollected. No one intercedes for them. So I prophesy unto the winds like Ezekiel's lingering lyrics, animating these souls without limbs, tongues raked silent in ashes of beauty. For them, these words are certain victory. Through them we sharpen our memories like eagle's talons to hold fast to a forgotten truth. The great destruction of a people, the Ma'afa, Intericio Tuco, sounds like thunder in the distance and lightning strikes in their native tongues, yet we hear the sound beneath the flash, afraid of the rumble, scared to fight back. But storms are never silent. There should be no surprise that poverty begets violence. The only difference between uprising and riot is organized attack. So imagine that. African men spending more time protecting African women and less time plotting to lay them on their backs. African women spending more time teaching our daughters self-love and respect and less exposure to partially dressed flesh. African people spending less time mimicking values not of our own and more time reclaiming our land and its resources toward freedom. See, we've come this far by faith and bloodshed, led into a wilderness of a falsified reality, a fallacy that apparently supersedes your right to exist as a human being. You better stand your ground. I've seen how the post-racial colorblindness stalks its victims. It's calculated. Black skin times Skittles plus tea plus your wallet plus your toothbrush equals you don't belong here. Go back to your hood. We no longer need hoods to lynch you, shoot you, maim, slice open your women's wombs, decapitate, rape, shove inanimate objects into your rectums, empty gun clips, reload and empty again. Beat so badly you can't recognize the face and throw into the river, tie behind trucks and drag for miles, tar and feather, castrate and brand, and remove your ear as a souvenir so you can't hear the media sound bites, drown out your moral conscience, confuse you about the outcome. My voice, people, is the sound of the war drum, and it is calling. It is my calling. It is a call to spiritual order, evidence of a mission, a call for nation building, and a call to raise our children the best ways we can in order to make the future more beneficial, more beautiful than when we inherited it. In the spirit of creativity, Kuumba, the reason that we write these poems in the first place, in this honor of the bloodshed for which we gather in this sacred space, we stand on the shoulders of the ancestors' might, the Zulu, Mau Mau, and Maasai, and I know that the Most High created we as warriors so that we can survive.
Necessity, a desire in themselves to stand up for something. And I want to commend you all for standing up here, and I want you to continue to stand up in whatever way you can, wherever you may be. Because you can't lose. I really think VCU is blessed. I mean, let's think about it. VCU is a multicultural university placed right here in Richmond, in the center of the people. This is a stand for a black child, but the crowd is full of many of colored people. And I love many colors. I love colors. I mean, some people would say he was a pretty stupid individual, but he was, his mind won't right. His heart won't right. He see a black kid and he think that is a violent person just because they have a hoodie on. That is a problem with his mind. And we have to understand that the problem, the revolution, starts in the mind. We have to educate the ignorant people. Some of us, I mean, I ain't saying I'm the smartest man in the world. Somebody gonna educate me, yes. But we have to educate each other so that we can better understand each other and what we need and what we see in each other, so that I can see you properly, so that you can see me properly. We have to educate each other on one another. so that we can break down this history of mind sickness that we've been living in that has brought us to this point right here. And I'm blessed to be surrounded by all of these colorful people, but there are not enough. There are not enough of us out here. And us, we have the message. We have the understanding. VCU, I say VCU is a blessed place. We have to take all of these blessed people, continue to do your work the way that you feel is needed.
As they robbed by, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had was redemption songs. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs. Redemption song, redemption song.
A slogan that's being raised all across the country, and it's "We are all Trayvon Martin." We are all Trayvon Martin. We are all Trayvon Martin.
Everyone.
But some of us are more Trayvon Martin than others. How much is a human life worth? There's a U.S. GI who just shot down 17 people in Afghanistan, most of them children, some of them stabbed to death. And the U.S. government is offering their families compensation of $50,000. That's about a year's base pay for a Richmond police officer. Thomas Hainsworth did 27 years in the Virginia prison system for a crime he didn't commit. The legislator gave him compensation. It works out to $4.56 an hour for the 27 years that he spent in prison. How much is a life worth? When something like this happens, a 17-year-old youth murdered for no other reason than the color of his skin, all of us have to feel outrage. Some of us it comes natural, and some of us have to overcome years of training and education and brainwashing. But in the end, all of us have to be as angry this doesn't just happen in Stamford. I know you know that. But here in Richmond, from the year 2001 to 2008, 27 people were shot by the Richmond Police Department and by one off-duty sheriff deputy. All but 3 were black men. 11 died, 9 of them black men. Most of them under very suspicious circumstances. So much so that 3 officers actually were indicted and went to trial. One of them served a very short prison sentence. How much is a life worth? But we haven't had a fatal police shooting in Richmond since 2008 because there was a tremendous community struggle led by the NAACP, the Defenders, the Nation of Islam, a group called Youth for Social Progress that had rallies and demonstrations and petition drives and forced the state to pull back. The reason I was asked to speak tonight was because the Defenders had a rally at the African Burial Ground down in Shackle Bottom on Thursday night. And I'm sorry, I have reservations about VCU because we fought for years to get this university to take its damn parking lot off the African Burial Ground. And even after the deal went through, they refused to close down the parking lot until 8 of us went down and shut it down. Someone once said, you have to speak truth to power, and power concedes nothing without a struggle. My message on Thursday night was to the white sisters and brothers who came out. And that was that when you see an incident of harassment, of the police pulling someone aside because of the color of their skin, and you know that's what it is, that you don't go home and pop a beer or something else and tell your roommates what a terrible thing you just saw. And I suggested that people should stay there and observe what's going on. And when the police tell you to move on, you move back 5 feet and you say, I'm not interfering with you in the performance of your official duties. I'm just observing you according to the Constitution of the United States. Yeah, we got a cheer on Thursday night, and then I went away for the weekend, and I came home late last night, and there was a message from a Facebook friend of mine, a young woman named Jordan, who I met in the Occupy movement. And she said, you know, I listened to what you said the other night, and I took it to heart, and my stomach sort of went cold. The next night, it was a Friday night, she was on her way to a party. And she said she saw a group of police officers that stopped 3 young black men, and they were searching their car. And dressed up for a party, and apparently all by herself, she decided to stop. She got out of the car, she pulled out her camera, and she started filming the police. I thought the next line was going to be that she was suing me for bad advice. But she said the officers stopped and started talking to each other, gave the 3 men back their IDs, stopped the search, and asked them if they needed directions. There's no one to help us but each other. This government is not going to get us out of this economic crisis, Democrat or Republican. With very few exceptions, the churches are absent without leave in our struggles, and the police are not our friend. We have to join together. And those who are not oppressed by the color of their skin must realize that their first responsibility is to support those who are oppressed by the color of their skin. That's the basis for unity. You don't fight racism by talking about it in a classroom. You fight racism by standing up to the police together side by side. We need unity or we are dead. Thank you, sisters and brothers. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for standing up. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. America that Dr. King envisioned, where none of us would be judged based upon the color of our skin or our creed or our religion. You have much work to do, and as I think the brother here said, Trayvon's death can be a marker. We can say that from this point on, we stood to change America and make her better than what she was before Trayvon Martin was slain. Keep it up. Stay strong, stay vigilant, continue to speak truth to power. May Allah bless each and every one of you with the light of understanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Original poem entitled Dreams, and I think it's relevant to this whole occasion because I feel like all of us as black African Americans here, we're all here in search of our dreams and living above the stereotypes that were dictated to us. So this is entitled Dreams. Dreams, sleep. The very essence of life is discovered when you dream, for you see what is not physically visible, but what is to come. And when you have reached your dream, the battle is won, but the true fight is the journey and route to what is to be manifested. What I have in store, no one would have guessed it. I shake my head at those who doubt me, because most of y'all know nothing about me. But here I am again to prove myself, to warn you that my journey is only beginning. God is Alpha and Omega, but this is not my ending. Before I was born, that's just it. I was never supposed to be born. My mother was broke down and worn out, yet she chose life for me. First I was spoken into existence, and then I came to be. Those of y'all who doubt me, got another thing coming. Cause I'm a dreamer, one who cannot be stopped. Cause once one blessing comes, another one is dropped. I was chosen for a special purpose. And now that my dreams and ambitions have surfaced, watch out. Cause my journey is only beginning. God is Alpha and Omega, but this is not my ending.